How y'all doing?
All right, how you doing? So talk about for most of the game you were right in it.
Yeah.
Kind of dropped the rope a little bit. Was it a lack of focus to close the game? Fatigue?
No. That was a well-played game. Obviously, it just came to down the stretch. You know, they made some plays. They made some tough shots. You got to give them guys credit. You know, it was a tough ball game. We came in, we was ready to play from start to finish. I don't know who had the lead. Four. We led by 4. They led by 7. So the game was, you know, pretty nip and tuck for the most part, and it just came down to the stretch on guys making plays, and they made their fair share of them down the stretch.
For you guys, offensive rebounding and depth seem to be major advantages.
Well, that's our motto. We go rebound the ball against anybody. We don't care who we play. Our goal is to go attack the rebounds, and they did a great job today going against 22 of them. That just give you extra possessions. You get offensive rebounds, you don't turn the ball over, you're going to score a lot of points. And you got to give them credit. They shot the ball really well today, and they was able to score a lot of points themselves.
You guys were able to pick up 94 feet pretty much the whole game at various times. You pressed like a 1-2-2. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, how did you think you did? How was it impactful? Was that pressure impactful?
Yeah, that's what we do. I mean, that's how we play. That's our style of play. We're aggressive. We guard without fouling. Obviously, today was a little different. We fouled a lot, too much to my liking. They was in the bonus with 15 minutes to go, but we was in the bonus also. So we both teams was fouling. But we like to guard without fouling, but we like to obviously pressure the ball and load up on defense. And I thought for the most part we was pretty good, but we had some mental lapses where we was hugged up on our man way too much, giving them dribble penetration. And that's not who we are. And when we cleaned those areas up, we was able to get stopped. But for the most part, we wasn't loading up like we should, and we gave up too many open looks.
Styles and Epps both had big offensive days. What were the challenges that they were giving you guys, and was it just them and their individual talent? Was it the scheme that Cooley was running?
Absolutely. I think it's a combination of both. He know who he has over there. Those two guys was on our scouting report. We know what they're capable of doing, which they showed tonight. And we did scheme for them. They was a point of emphasis, but at the same time, as a coach, you know teams were scheming those guys, so he got to do a good job of getting those guys the ball on the move with space. And he did a good job of that. And them being individually special, they went out and made tough shots when we guarded them. When we was in front of them, just like we scouted them, you know, or our schemes, how we wanted to guard them, we guarded them. For the most part, how we wanted to guard them. They just took the individual challenge and went out and made plays for themselves.
And around the 15-something mark, there was just a little gamesmanship scuffle type. Was it just two teams playing hard?
Yeah,
what was that about?
I mean, like I said, the highest lead was 7 by them and 4 by us, so it was a battle the whole game. And obviously those guys were aware what we did previous game against, you know, an SEC opponent. Now we're playing a Big East opponent, and you know they don't want to be the team they to lose to a SWAC school per se. That's just how we looked at for whatever reason. But we come in with confidence, and we look forward to these matchups against a Power 5 conference. And our guys have a lot of confidence, and I have a lot of confidence as a coach. No matter who I coach against, I feel like I can beat them. I feel like I have a group that can go and compete and get wins.
13 road games starting out for you guys. How do you get your team after a tough physical loss like this? How do you get them back on track, pull out the better things that you did to move on?
I mean, we're resilient. We're a resilient group of guys. You know, I got a bunch of dogs in their locker room, so I'm not concerned with getting prepared for the next game. We're ready to go. It's just me cleaning up some areas where we can get better, picking out the right clips to show them, so we can get prepared for Tuesday. And we got 2 days to get prepared for our next opponent, which we'll take full advantage of both of those days, and jump on another flight, go to another city, and play another game and compete.
The work that Zeke gave you, I think he matched a career high for you. Just how impressive was the energy? I know that's who he is as a player.
Exactly. You took the words out of my mouth. That's who he is. That's when he's focused and he's locked in on who he is, he's a really good player. It's just as a coach, you got to keep these guys engaged in who they are. Because, you know, sometimes guys want to get out of body and want to be someone else from time to time, and he's no different from anybody else. So the more we keep him engaged on who he is as a player, he's going to affect the game in a lot of different ways and not just scoring.
Talk about your journey as a coach. You were the NBA standout, and now you're dealing with guys who want to be in the NBA, but it's different. Obviously, they're not there.
I mean,
how have you grown? How have you grown to be?
Well, I grow each and every year. Obviously, this is my 4th year as a head coach, 6th year overall, 2 years as assistant with my college coach in Northridge, California. Then obviously 2 years Alabama State in my 2nd year here. I grow each and every game. Each and every year I get better. I love competing against big time opponents, you know, like Coach Cooley. I got a lot of respect for him. He's been doing it forever, seems like it. So just watching those guys and preparing for them, I'm able to see what they do, see how they run their team, and see what plays they run, what defense they run, their philosophy. So I admire those guys. You know, my first, I think this is my 6th or 7th game. You know, I'm coaching against Penny. I'm coaching against a Penny team. I'm coaching against the Dennis Gates team. You know, obviously Cooley, and we, you know, they all look like me. So that's inspiration for myself. You know, seeing guys that look like me doing it at a high level. So that always gives me the motivation to just keep moving forward and pushing forward.
If there was a piece of advice that you would give a professional player now that would want to go into coaching similar to what you did on the college level, what would your advice be to them?
Just know what you're getting into, know what you're signing up for. Obviously, it's not a vacation. You know, you got to work. It's not easy. And typically, we don't fall into big-time jobs, so you're going to be in a situation where you got to wear multiple hats. And obviously, you just got to have a lot of patience, but you got to understand that it doesn't matter what level you're on, you can compete. And it's your challenge to get those guys have a mindset to compete against anybody. And that's one thing I can say about my men is they have a mindset going into each and every game that they can compete and win the game, not just going out just playing. We feel like we can actually win. And, you know, we fall short, we fell short, you know, 6 out of these 7 first games, but I guarantee you when we leave that locker room after the game, we don't feel defeated. You know, we feel like we came and competed.
Talk about Coach Adams. You know, he played here. His career got cut short medically. He stayed close to the game, obviously. What does he bring to your program?
I mean, obviously, as a player, he is as a coach. I mean, he's aggressive. I mean, he pushes his players. How big they develop each and every day. He stays on them. And obviously, he got into coaching just because of his circumstances, so young. So he really has some experience in that area, which helps him. But at the same time, he has a story, right? He has a story to tell these young guys that sometimes don't understand that basketball is going to stop bouncing. You have no idea when that day will come. And for him, it was his freshman year in college. So just to have an understanding on other things in life. You know, obviously I was 34 years old, 33, 34 when I retired. So I tell my players all the time, look at me. I mean, you know, if God just keep waking me up, I'm going to have a lot of years left. And I retired at 34, so I couldn't sit at home and do nothing. So, you know, to be able to have something that you love and you can do for a long time, that's something that really impacts you. Obviously, that's something that outside of coaching that I always talk to my guys about, just life after basketball. It ain't about the NBA, it ain't about being a professional athlete just in general. The most important thing is what type of man you become, because one day you're going to have a family, one day you're going to have some responsibilities which you don't have now. And I always tell them all the time when they come in there and they up and down with their moves, and I say, God, y'all ain't hit life yet. You know, y'all should enjoy every moment that we come and practice. You shouldn't have bad days, you know, and trust me, because once this thing over with it, and once that clock stopped in college and it's the real world, and on the 1st and 15th you getting a check, hopefully, guess what, on the 1st the bills due, you know, and that's life. You know, that's the stress of life. When you got a family, you got responsibilities, but you guys ain't there yet. So right now, enjoy every moment, understand what's important to you, and that's basketball in school. That's the only thing that you should be worried about. You should be trying to get better at that each and every day. Challenge yourself as a student athlete. You're a student first, an athlete second, in that order. Because at the end of the day, when kids, and my kids are no different, I know it's everywhere, when you don't give 110% in the classroom, how can I expect you to give 110% on the court each and every day when adversity hit? Everybody's good when everything is good. When in adverse moments, that's when you see who is real and their character sticks out. And that's no different in the classroom. You can't depend on them in the classroom. You definitely can't depend on them with a tie game with 3 seconds to go. So, you know, it's a teacher moment. Like tonight is a teacher moment. We played against a really good coach. They got some young players and some talented players. So, I look at film. We'll get better. I hate to lose. Obviously, I felt like this is a game that we competed enough to win. But that, like I said, you got to give them credit. They made big plays down the stretch from their key guys. So your key guys step up, and we miss some shots that typically we make, and we make those. It's a different ballgame. Appreciate it.